On this episode of Delivering Marketing Joy, we talk with Larry Cohen about why culture really matters and why he wants to be 180 degrees from ordinary. Hello and welcome to another edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. I am your host, Kirby Hasseman. I'm very excited to be joined this week with Larry Cohen, the CEO of Access Promotions, a marketing agency in the promotional products space. Larry, thanks so much for taking the time.
It's my pleasure. I'm really glad you asked.
Absolutely. Now, doing research about you, I know, we've met, but looking at websites, you have a pretty large team, and it goes across 5 different offices across the U.S. The first thing that came to my mind is, how do you manage that many offices, and what kind of challenges or opportunities does that create?
It is a challenge. I think, when you start off in your one-man show and then you got a couple people, those people drink the Kool-Aid really fast because you're feeding it to them. Yeah. And as you get more and more offices, it gets harder. And I think the one thing that we've done well is we've put together a really strong team internally here. And also there's a strong team lead in each of those offices. And as we've gotten bigger, the big buzzword today is culture. And that's been a big thing for us. And so we have a committee that is like basically our culture committee, and there's representatives from each office. They've got spending authority, and they go off and talk about issues that are going on there. We've put together an intranet for communication across the offices where we're sharing case studies. Everyone's birthday gets put up there, charitable efforts, and things like that. So that's the first thing that opens up on everyone's computer every day. They see those types of things. So you have to put a lot of thought into it. When you're just running a business and people all around you, you can just stop by and pat them on the shoulder. Also this year, we've put together a rewards program. I guess we're kind of in that business. Yeah. And it's mostly, obviously I have a big bucket of awards that I can hand out, but it's peer-to-peer. So every employee has their own budget of money that we give them that they can actually go out and reward people for helping them, doing something exceptional. They hear a great story, they love a great case study, just things that make them stand out, day to day. And then they can go shopping and buy their blender or iPod or iPad or whatever it is. So we've, it takes people, time, resources, effort, and a little bit of money to do it.
Yeah, man, that's really cool. I love that idea. Peer-to-peer. Actually, I'm going to make a note on that. I like that a lot.
Well, because it's coming from you, it's great, but you're busy, and sometimes you forget, and you miss those little things. And the other thing that we've done is I've empowered, other people I say to them, like, you have to let me know when things like these things are going on. I can get buried in my own day-to-day stuff, and you just need to tell me when, like, so-and-so did a great job, because I love writing those letters or those emails or making those phone calls. But if I don't know about it, and it gets harder and harder to know about it across 5 offices. And the last thing we do is we have a monthly call. We've put telecommunication kind of like this in every office. In each of the conference rooms. So we have one call every month where we kind of review birthdays, success stories, we talk about some challenges, and then we have different people each month present case studies. So again, it becomes kind of a learning thing where everyone gets to talk, and we have a summer party and a winter party. So it takes a lot to do it.
Yeah, that's really cool, Larry. I like that a lot. And again, that peer-to-peer thing, to me, that would be so powerful. If somebody in my office called me out, I think that's a great idea. So the other thing I noticed is I love your tagline, 180 degrees from ordinary. Why'd you decide to go that direction with your branding?
A lot of it really centered on kind of what our mission was. And I don't know about you, but I knew nothing about this industry when I got into it. I had a sports marketing idea, took it to one of the leagues. They liked it. I was an attorney, quit my job, and suddenly I was in the promotional products business. And, from the very start, I'd taken business classes at Wharton while I was in law school and kind of learned about marketing. And I started asking marketing questions. And because that was interesting to me, what's the strategy and target audiences and demographics? And it became apparent really quickly that a lot of people in the promotional products industry were more about selling products than they were about selling strategy. And we had already picked our name, Axis, because we were doing some global importing and some other stuff like that, which is in an unrelated business. And so it kind of tied in. We wanted to be the opposite of what the other people that we knew were doing. Clearly, there's a lot of really smart people doing really smart marketing in our industry, but our industry itself is known. It's trinkets and trash and the tchotchkes and the doodads and all those other things, and that's all about product. But I'm pretty passionate about the strategy and the marketing side of what we do because, as you know, and everybody else in the industry knows, it works really well, but it only works really well when the products you sell fit the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the name came about, and it seems to have stuck. And we actually went through a rebranding a couple years ago, and that's the only thing that survived. The rebranding was the tagline. We got rid of the font, we got rid of our logo, and but that is the one thing that we did some focus groups. Everybody kind of resonated with them. So
clearly, it kept my attention, right?
Yeah, thanks for noticing.
Yeah, right. So you mentioned culture earlier, and candidly, Larry, it's something we focus on a lot in my company. But sometimes that's one of those people feel like it's just a feel-good thing. So let me ask you: you've got groups that focus on it, they give them budgets. You said all that stuff. Why does that really matter?
Because the job isn't just a job. I mean, I think it's particularly today. I mean, I think if you asked our parents, they took a job and sometimes they stayed in that job their whole life. My dad started his own company, but they stick around, and you used to just take your orders. Like I was told to do this and I did my job and I went home every day at 5:00. I think that the world has changed, and when you hire, these generations that are coming up, they want to feel connected to the business. And I've spoken at some other groups, and there are a lot of people who are my age or older, or who get upset when these young people are asking them why. Why is that? And like they go, I never questioned my boss about those things. Well, they're not really questioning. They're just trying to figure out where it all fits in and where the connection is, and that's where the culture part is. Because the surveys you read and everything you read, and I don't do my job based upon surveys, but the more you read about it, it's not all about money. Mm-hmm. And you want to be around people you like. I want to be around people that I like, and I like the culture thing. I mean, I went from working for a law firm where I liked a lot of the people, but didn't want to necessarily be a partner at a law firm, and basically said, when I'm going to run my own business, I'm going to hire the people that I want to work with. And if I don't enjoy working with you, then I'm probably not going to continue to work with you. Those are the choices you get to make, but those are also the choices that they get to make.
Right.
And, we're in a business where, one, you can train them and they can quit and leave and go work for somebody else or go buy a franchise or do these other things. And we haven't lost many people because they like the culture. They like the work environment. They like the fact that they can be in a committee and actually have an impact. I mean, one thing, I know what I know, and I know that I don't know a lot about a lot. I know a lot about a little. So there are other people who know a lot more about some specific things, whether it's HR, the people who are like passionate, I'm passionate about culture, but I get distracted from that. They're passionate about culture and they're thinking about it all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so they're often driving the initiatives that are going on. And, I may tweak it around the edge a little bit, or I may push them to do something more grand than they were thinking about doing because they were thinking, oh, we don't have a budget for that, or that's too complicated. I'm like, no, let's go for that. Mm-hmm. And I would say more so, and this is really probably over the last 5 years, there's just initiatives like they go, we're going to do the breast cancer walk, or we're going to do the JP Morgan Chase run. And it's voluntary, and we support it financially, and we'll maybe donate money, we'll do the registration fees. But it's not like everybody has to do it, but you find that the more you do it, people want to do it, and they kind of lift each other up, which is the amazing part about it is like they don't get paid any more for being on the culture committee or participating in, the lunch and learns we have or some of these other things, and they're probably not going to get fired for not doing it, but it does get noticed. So,
yeah, if you want your job to matter as an organization, you need to do more things that matter for sure.
Absolutely.
And I've said before, Larry, it's funny, you said something earlier, but I've said many, many times I wanted to create a company that I wanted to come to work at. And, that's about culture, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the part is, I've always said the day I stop enjoying it, I'll go do something else.
Yeah.
And believe me, there's some days I don't love it, but, overall, it's like there's not a lot of other things I'd rather be doing right now. And so it's great.
Cool.
Which leads me to the question for you, actually.
Oh, okay. Great for it.
So, and maybe you haven't thought of this, but like sometimes I think about it. If you could just wave the magic wand and doing something different other than the job that you love now, is there something that leaps to mind that you would love to be doing?
Yeah, that's a great question. And like you, I do. I still enjoy coming to work. I think I've written a book. I enjoy speaking, so that might be one of it, speaking, writing, that sort of thing. The other thing I'm kind of fascinated with is the appearance of microbrews around the country. So I think maybe I might start a microbrew if I just started something today, because I think there's some fun branding stuff you could do around that. But then, hey, I like beer, so nothing wrong with that, right?
Well, if you start that, I'll come visit, and I'll do your promo items for you. You always got to be selling something.
That's
if I was going to do something different, and I still may do it at some point, but I've always loved like kind of work with my hands and stuff, and I like to build a house from scratch.
Oh wow, that would be awesome.
So that would be kind of fun. I've done some renovations and stuff, but I think it would be fun to build a house from scratch and actually do a lot of the work. I wouldn't do it all myself, but it'd be great to be doing part of that and getting involved in that. So
yeah, I don't mind doing that as long as I don't have to live in the house, because I don't want to have to be stressed out that the house I built would fall down.
Right. So you'd rather build it and then sell it to somebody else and let them worry about it? It's perfect. What a guy.
All right. Well, hey, man, thank you so much, Larry. I really appreciate you being a part of the show, and I would love to do it again sometime.
Anytime. It's my pleasure, and it's great that you do this.
All right. Thanks, buddy. We'll talk next time.
Take care.
Hey, thanks for watching, but wait! Can you do me a favor? Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it already. The way to do it's right over here. And hey, if you want to watch the last episode, check that out over here. Again, before you leave, subscribe!